Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the webinar. I'll give it just a few more minutes or maybe a few more seconds to let the late people join. But hi, everyone. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for coming. If you've been here every week, then as always, thank you so much for joining the webinar. We here at AKOOL are so appreciative of every single one of you that join us every week. As always, my name is Eugene, and I am the marketing manager here at AKOOL. But today, we're so excited to have you with us today as we explore how AI is transforming the way we connect, communicate, and create. At AKOOL, our mission is to break barriers and give creators the tools they need to tell powerful stories across borders. Today's session is a very special one. Very exciting. It's not just a product showcase, it's a look into the real world impact of AKOOL through the eyes of someone who knows the power of branding and storytelling inside and out. We're thrilled to welcome Jim, an expert brand strategist with over 15,000 followers on LinkedIn. Jim has been using AKOOL to bring his ideas to life, creating personalized avatars, translating content across multiple languages, and reaching new audiences with ease. He's here to share his experiences, insights, and tips on how you can do the same. So, thank you so much, Jim. Thank you so much for joining the webinar. How are you?
Hi, Eugene. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining in. I'm doing fantastic. It's a beautiful day on a Thursday out here in West Oakland, California.
It is. I just want to start off by saying thank you for spending or giving up some of your time to be a part of this webinar. I know you probably have a very busy schedule, um, but I'm really happy that you're here. I'm sure the audience will be really appreciative to learn about your life, what you do, and how you're able to utilize AKOOL or what you want to do with AKOOL um, to 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 improve your content creation. But thank you.
Yeah,
It means a lot.
definitely. Yeah, I'm excited
Uh,
to have the conversation.
yeah, then to get started, let's start off with the beginning of your journey. So for everyone watching who may not know who you are yet, could you introduce yourself and tell us a bit about how you got started as a creator on LinkedIn?
Yeah. So the beginning of my journey, anytime I introduce myself, I always let people know that I'm first generation Filipino American. And so what that means is my parents moved out to the US not really knowing a whole lot and had to navigate a lot of things on their own. And then someone who's first generation, I had to figure out a lot of things. And that kind of trickled down to me wanting to eventually work in tech and then move out to San Francisco, and then it got to a point where I was working in tech, was happy. But then I started using LinkedIn to start, because I was in sales, start using LinkedIn as a way to do outreach with clients. And then it got to a point where I just started creating more content, but I'd be happy to more talk more about that later down.
Yeah, that sounds like a really tough journey. How long ago did you say you moved in here?
Yeah, I moved out in the Bay Area, San Francisco in 2018. So
2018,
been out here since 20.
7 years ago almost,
Yeah, yeah,
or
it's been a while,
a
and
little bit
yeah, I
more.
love it
Yeah.
out here.
Wow. Then, what were some of the early challenges you faced when trying to grow your channel?
Yeah, so I didn't even think of it so much as challenges, but more so when I started to create content, it was mostly because I was looking for a job. I
Mm,
didn't really know how to network or how to like go to in-person events, but what I did know how to do is to write and to create thoughtful, engaging content. And so I started posting on LinkedIn, and then that's really when people started following me, and I started getting more uh, followers and engagement. But like as far as one thing I can think of as far as challenges is sometimes I think like I wrote the most fire thing, it's going to hit, it has a good hook, it has good stuff, and then I put it out there on LinkedIn and then
Oh.
it's crickets.
I know
There-
exactly what you
yeah.
mean. That's the hardest part. Yeah, no, but I did look at your LinkedIn. You post pretty regularly, or at least I you mentioned to me before that you started posting a lot more recently. But you post a lot of different styles of content. I know there's recently you posted about finding an interview by utilizing LinkedIn comments. There's I see that you interview a lot of other people too. What does a typical day look like for you as a as a creator on LinkedIn? How do you get these ideas?
For sure. So with anything in life, you have spurts of creativity,
Yeah.
and sometimes it happens at nighttime when you're just eating dinner or when you're going for a walk. And so for me, a typical day is kind of all over the place because I'm half of me is interviewing and preparing for job interviews, but the other half is setting time to really focus on content creation.
Hmm.
And because it's sometimes it has to be organic where I can't just force myself to be creative. A lot of the times, like throughout my day, I'm going out for walks, I'm in nature, I'm reading a
Oh,
book, I'm just like jotting ideas on my journal. And then once that creativity sparks, when I have an idea, maybe it's a hook, it's a story I want to share, I open up a Google Doc and then I just start writing.
oh, wow. That's so interesting. Then in looking back, what would you say was the what has contributed the most success to your growth?
Yeah, I think a huge part of it is just being authentic. And I know it sounds cheesy, but just being authentic, being who you are, because you'll naturally attract the followers or the people you want to connect with. And I would feel like an imposter if I was acting like someone I'm not. And I start getting more engagement and traction because I'm this person that I'm not. So a huge part of it is just sharing authentic stories, the ups and downs, the struggles, the achievements, and letting people know that it's okay that we're in this journey of life.
That's a great tip. I like that a lot. Thank you for sharing that. That's a really good one that can resonate with a lot of these viewers. Especially with content creation, a lot of people, not even with content creation, even just in professional life, a lot of people have this what is it called? The imposter
Imposter
syndrome.
syndrome.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
we'll talk
yeah.
more about that. Could talk hours about that, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's real.
it is. It really is. But that's a great tip. But okay, so let's move on to talking about your experiences with AKOOL. Can you walk us through how you first found out about us, and when you did, what was your first impression?
Yeah. So because the a common theme of my content creation is looking for a job and putting myself out there, one opportunity I had was while I was posting on LinkedIn, sharing my job hunt story, I got invited to a networking event. And that in that networking event that I found through LinkedIn, I met my future manager. And that manager worked at a company, a robotics company actually. And that robotics company, there was a marketing leader and she ended up moving to AKOOL. And this was years ago. So like fast forward several months ago, I hear that she's working at this company. I'm like, oh, what is AKOOL? We set up time to talk because it's been a while since I talked to that person. And I'm like, what the heck? What is this? This is interesting. So my first impressions to your question, I thought it was like weird and strange and like
It
funny.
definitely is. It's
Yeah, I
very
thought
different.
it was interesting, but I wanted
Yeah.
to explore more of it because I do believe that you see all these like futuristic movies with flying cars
Mhm.
and talking billboards and newspapers, and I think that's something that we're like very close to and we are living in the future. And so companies like AKOOL is exciting because it's kind of paving that pathway.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I was in the same boat when I first heard about AKOOL. I was like, what? What are these avatars, face swabs? Um, video translation, it's still crazy to me how a video can get translation within minutes, just
Yeah.
uploading it. Whereas before it would take sometimes maybe a whole team to translate it. Um, and it's still crazy to me.
Yeah, no, it's wild for sure.
Yeah, okay. Before we move on, I actually wanted to show the video that you made for us, which I loved. Um, but hopefully, okay, let me share my screen.
Yeah, let's see it.
Okay, so if you do want to check Jim out, you can find his LinkedIn, Jim Gonzalez. Gonzalez, right? I hope I said your last name right.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, yeah, brand expert. You can find him on LinkedIn. I literally just looked up Jim Gonzalez LinkedIn, and then he was the first one that popped up. So hopefully, oh, you went to UCSD?
Yeah, to
I
you.
did too.
Heck yeah. We'll
Oh
talk
wow.
talk more about that. I'm
Yeah,
born
yeah,
and
yeah.
born and raised in San Diego.
Oh, San Diego is so beautiful. I love the weather. It's so nice.
Yeah, it's I love it out there. They have the best Mexican food and Vietnamese food, I think.
Yeah, you can't beat it. But yeah, please check Jim out at LinkedIn, Jim Gonzalez. But here's a video that he made for us. Just he tested out AKOOL for 3 months and just talked about his experience briefly in the video. Let's see. I wonder, oh wait, actually, if I full screen it, I don't think I can share it. I'll leave it like this. As I explore an exciting new Join me as I explore an exciting new AI tool changing how we create content. For 3 months, I've been using AKOOL, AKOOL. This versatile platform generates streaming avatars, video translations, AI editing, talking photos, and support agents. My favorite feature, creating my own avatar to chat with, is become my practice partner for Chinese. I envision a future with talking billboards, flying cars, and AI everywhere, which is why staying current with these tools matters. AKOOL already has 5 million users and 50,000 plus companies using it for education, advertising, e-commerce, and creative works. The future is now. Stay informed, but don't forget to disconnect. Take walks, enjoy fresh air, spend time with pets, family, cook something delicious. Technology is transforming before our eyes. Check out AKOOL and experiment. Amazing. I love how you added a little part in the end about disconnecting and experiencing life with your family and loved ones.
For sure, yeah.
Nice. It's a
Very
nice touch.
important.
Okay. So with that, I was hoping that you would be able to share with the audience your process of using AKOOL and hopefully give them ideas of what they could possibly use AKOOL for.
Yeah, yeah, I'd be happy to share my screen. Before I do so, I want to give some context. So, part of being a brand strategist as well as creating content, there's a lot of mental barriers that we have
Mm.
and that we face, and that's a huge challenge. Like what we talked about earlier, imposter syndrome, feeling like you don't belong, or feeling like you're not there yet. Always, oh, you're constantly figuring things out. And so a huge part of my content creation journey is really visualizing who you want to be and surrounding yourself with people who will uplift you in
Mm.
different ways and challenge you. So yeah, let me go ahead and share with you how I've been using AKOOL for the last few months. All right. Sweet. So I've been using it for a little bit now, and for more context, two people I look up to, not just for content creation, but like the way of life is Kobe Bryant applying that
Mm.
Mamba mentality, which is very relevant in creating content and putting yourself out there because you'll go through different rejections and failures and upsets. And Kobe Bryant is really that character that really challenges that, like being who you are. So Kobe Bryant and then Bruce Lee, been a fan of him since I was a little kid, just the way he acts, like his fighting style, and then him moving out to the US and just making a big boom here is very inspiring. So in a way, because I think of these people as like my kind of role models, wanted to use AKOOL to see what it would be like to kind of incorporate themselves inside myself, because in a way we have all these different personalities, and sometimes I need to be ferocious and unlock that Mamba mentality of Kobe Bryant, and sometimes I need to get after it, kind of like Bruce Lee. So yeah, so I've done face swaps with Bruce Lee. So for example, infamous photo of Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon. That's obviously not like a fusion of Bruce Lee and myself. So kind of
Looks
like
amazing.
envisioning yourself in their shoes is it helps with visualization for sure. This was hilarious. Anytime Kobe Bryant did a clutch shot, shot a three-pointer, did some game time decisions on the basketball courts, he would like stick out his teeth and really look like a beast, that mom mentality. And so I was like, oh my gosh, what if I put my face in Kobe Bryant, and how would that would look like, and really vision that. And so next time I'm scared or I'm fearful, I'm gonna be thinking of this photo that I generated on April. So this is a photo of me wearing Lakers number 24. Can you see the resemblance, Eugene?
Oh yeah, it looks like you're there. It looks like, if you showed me this picture, I would have been like, I didn't know you were on the Lakers.
Yeah, yeah. I'll give you front row seats, courtside seats.
Oh, please, please.
Young photo of Bruce Lee just coming to the US. And so fusion of me and Bruce Lee, another photo. So what I'm getting at is in content creation, building a company, building whatever you're doing, looking for a job, there's different parts of you internally that you could just kind of get when you pull them out when you have to. And in that case, it's me with Bruce Lee and
Mm.
with Kobe Bryant. There's a couple others, but to actually see, like, visualize it and see yourself like in a photo of Bruce Lee or in a video of Bruce Lee or Kobe Bryant, it's kind of mind-boggling. Another Kobe Bryant photo. So yeah, that's with face swaps.
Wow. I love the face swaps.
Yeah, and it's so easy. Like I could just simply drag and drop. I think that's a pretty cool feature. Just easily drag and drop.
Mm.
So I'll just do a quick example. I'm dragging putting a photo of Bruce Lee here, and then now I could just add myself and then generate the results. But yeah, this is basically what it came up with. And it's pretty quick. And then I'll just get an email notification so I can go about my day.
Oh, there we go.
It's already there. There you go.
Ah, I didn't know
Uh,
you were so muscular.
yeah. Jin Lee, or Bruce Gonzales. So yeah, that's one way. Happy to go over how I've also been using it. So talking avatar. Oh, actually, before we go to talking avatar, let's do video translation. And you notice there's so many different ways to play around with this and
Mm.
other use cases I'm not even thinking of. So aside from me kind of seeing Bruce Lee as a role model, for the last year, I've been learning Chinese, not because of Bruce Lee, but my wife is Chinese. She's from
Oh.
China, and she speaks English, so I'm able to easily communicate with her. But her parents, specifically her dad, only knows very little English. And so that could be tough when I communicate with him. And so I made it a goal to practice Chinese. So for the last year, like 2 to 3 times a week, I practice with a tutor. And
Oh, that's so cute.
yeah, yeah. And it's fun. It exercises that part of my brain with
Uh-huh.
learning a new language. Have you ever had to learn a new language, or do you speak another
I
language?
tried actually try to learn Chinese too. It's
Ah,
so hard. I could not do it. I still sometimes try now, but mostly I just use apps like Duolingo, but I
ah.
struggle. It's really hard for me. So maybe you have good tips for me.
yeah, definitely. 你说中文吗？你会
uh,
说中文吗？
I know I don't know how to respond, but no, I do not speak Chinese.
But
I can understand now a
you
little
could
bit.
understand.
Yeah, a
Wow.
little bit.
Nice, nice. Yeah, it's we could talk more about this later, but in general, it's a lot of like consistency and going
Yeah.
back to like content creation and then envisioning yourself. It's like really vision. It sounds kind of dumb and stupid, but like really visualizing yourself and knowing that it's a journey to learn a new language, that's something that like we have to be able to grasp in our head. And so funny enough, I've been practicing Chinese. I practice with my wife, but there are times where she's not available or my tutor's not available. So I've been using AKOOL to like
Oh.
the streaming avatar. I think that's crazy. So I could update the streaming avatar to speak Chinese and I could have like a short conversation with it, which is like, what the heck? I could practice and no one's looking, no one's gonna judge me. I'm just talking with this
Mhm.
avatar, AI avatar. But another part is visualizing yourself actually speaking the language. And so I created what I basically did was I created a video myself, did a little like kind of put myself on selfie mode and just talked English. And then I was like, oh,
Join me
cool.
as I
AKOL could
explore an
translate
exciting
that.
new AI. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, wow, AKOL could translate that into not just Chinese, but hundreds of different languages. But because I'm learning Chinese, I figured, hey, let me create a video of me speaking in Chinese. So what I simply did was drag that video of me speaking in English, and then I simply just updated the language. It was very easy to use, and this is the results it got after a couple minutes. So happy to share that.
叫吉姆冈萨雷斯。
All right.
大家好，我叫吉姆冈萨雷斯，我的妻子是中国人，她来自中国湖南省长沙市。我有一个非常漂亮的妻子，我有2只猫，我有3个兄弟，我有父母，他们都住在圣地亚哥，但我住在加利福尼亚的旧金山。我从事内容创作大约4、5年了，一直很有趣。我最喜欢做的事是吃东西和妻子一起闲逛。我也喜欢跑步、徒步和攀岩。你喜欢做什么事儿？什么让你兴奋快乐？大家好，我叫
Oh, very cool.
It's always funny watching like yourself speak in a different language and it's
Yeah.
so like
No,
what the heck?
this is an amazing use case. I didn't think of that. Watching myself speaking Chinese to
Yeah.
help myself learn. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a huge believer of visualization and really imagining yourself doing the thing. So if you don't know, you're learning Spanish, you're learning Chinese, Arabic, whatever you're learning, like try to envision yourself. And you could do that mentally or by closing your eyes, but you could actually use AKOOL and see yourself doing that. And when you see your avatar like speaking Chinese, you're like, damn, like that could be me.
Wow. That's a good one. I like it. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing this one.
yeah, definitely. So yeah, numerous other ways. I think I created this not too long ago, but let me see here. Oh, here it is.
This was going to be easy.
All right, so going back to like Kobe Bryant, Bruce Lee. So
Mhm.
Kobe, are you a fan of basketball, Eugene?
I'm not too much of a big fan, but I do know the players. Like I do know who Kobe Bryant is.
Perfect. So yeah, the whole philosophy of Mamba mentality, and so kind of really imagining myself and like applying that Mamba mentality, I was like, oh, what if I use AQual
Mhm.
to generate something that Kobe Bryant would say, and then have my avatar kind of say that. And so I won't play the whole video, I'll play a little bit of it. But yeah, let's see that.
Nobody said this was going to be easy. The path to greatness never is. When I stepped on that court every single day, I wasn't just there to play. I was there to dominate. People see the rings, the accolades, the Mamba moments. What they don't see are the 4 a.m. workouts when nobody's watching, the thousands of shots when the gym's empty, the ice baths, the pain you once endured. That's the Mamba mentality. That's how legends are made. Look,
Is that his voice or did you use an AI voice that we have?
No, it's wild because so I mean I could briefly kind of show you. So I basically created this. I uploaded my avatar
Mhm,
and then there's these different voices that you could use.
mhm.
And so, for example, here you could filter it. And I have like one of me with like a female voice, which is interesting. Like you could filter it by different, like thousands of different languages, which is
Uh-huh.
insane. And then, yeah, so what I basically did is just go male and then I put English, United States. And then I just kind of listened to all like the hundreds of different languages.
Oh.
And then you could, yeah, I'll give you like a little sample too, like Japanese.
안녕하세요. 음성 서비스를 제공해 드릴 수 있어서 기쁩니다.
Yeah.
마음에 드시는 목소리를 선택하시면 함께 멋진 음성 제작을 시작해 보도록.
See, that's I mean, I could talk about this for hours, but like I'm also like an anime fan, enjoy watching like Naruto and Bleach and all that. So,
Uh-huh.
man, maybe in the future I'll make myself as like Naruto speaking Japanese.
Wow. Oh, that is so cool. Well, I just want to say, the AI voice that you used, it's nice, but I think I like your voice better.
I
But
appreciate it.
of course, thank you for sharing your the videos that you created. I
Yeah,
love
definitely.
especially the video translation one. But the face swap one is fun too, and the avatar, but the video translation one, I love that one because it's something that so many people can use. Such a strong use case. I'm so happy that you shared that with us. Um, I'm glad that you shared that. So it's not even about you utilizing it for your content creation, but just utilizing it for your own life benefit. So thank you for sharing.
For sure.
But now that you've had hands-on experience using AI, somewhat as a creator, but as somewhat for yourself as well, like the video translation, what advice would you give to other influencers or just other users who are thinking about exploring tools like AKOOL?
Yeah, I think because in general, influencers, the commonality that I've been seeing with talking with other like quote unquote influencers, content creators, business builders, whatever they call themselves, is that they have creativity, they have ideas, they have thoughts. And my encouragement is to really hone in on that creativity. And with the emergence of AI, there's what better way to do that through using like these little tools and to really envision yourself using tools like AKOOL where you could see yourself speaking a different language. You kind of immersing yourself in like your role models and what they
Mhm,
would say, things like that. So yeah, you use AKOOL for creativity, test it out. And for someone like myself, my reach right now is primarily here in the US. I've
mhm.
had followers from international, not as much as I would like. But as I create more videos and more content, what I would eventually want to be able to do is like create a piece of video that I could send to like China or Japan or Korea or anywhere in the world, Europe, and have it translated because now like you don't need to know English to appreciate my creativity and videos. Like I can get that translated into a different language. And I think that is something that I want to continue to tap into with ACOL.
Yeah, that's something that I actually wanted to touch up on. I think I don't remember the percentage at the top of my head, but I believe only 20 or 30%. All right, let me look this up. I believe
Yeah.
only, let's see.
Yeah, I think in general, I think that the outreach Regardless if you're already getting a good amount of outreach, like it could be a lot more if you have video translation.
Yeah. Sorry for the pause earlier. I just wanted to make sure I had the percentage right.
Yeah.
But according to recent studies, only about 15 to 20% of the world actually knows English, which is
Yeah.
really crazy. But not all of them are fluent. It's just 15 to 20% that know English. So a lot of them could be secondhand learners or just English as a second, third, fourth language. So being able to translate your content and reach the rest of the 80% of the world just by translating your videos, it's a really, really good idea. So I'm glad that you brought that up as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's tools like AKOOL that's kind of bridging that language barrier gap, and that's a huge reason why I'm an advocate for it.
Yeah. Okay, then let's wrap this up by looking towards the future a little bit. So AI is moving so fast. How do you see tools like AKOOL continuing to shape the content creator world?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing on content creation right now, from what I've seen and from talking to other folks, is video. It's all about video.
Hmm.
So
I agree.
my primary thing is LinkedIn, but I've used tools like I also use like Instagram and uh TikTok and stuff like that. But LinkedIn is starting to recognize how important video is, and so that's why I've been creating more content on LinkedIn with video. And so where I think content creation is going is how can you make compelling videos? How can you make it so that way it's engaging? And so I'm excited to continue to test out AKOOL to see how I can do that for not just my platform, but how I can communicate with other folks, not just in the US, but overseas.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, Jim. Um, Let me quickly share for those of you that are in this webinar currently. First of all, thank you so much for joining. I know this one might have been harder to find because the webinar link changed. That will probably get reverted back to the original link. But to those of you that are here, please fill out the Google form letting us know that you were here. Thank you. Please leave notes. We love the feedback that you provide. Just you could just tell me how much you loved the webinar, how much you hated the webinar. You could say, "Oh, I love Jim. Bring him back. Have him be the next webinar person." Yeah, or just any sort of feedback. We'll love it. But other than that, Jim, thank you so much for spending some of your time, spending 30 minutes or at this point, it's been 40 minutes of your time to share your journey using AKOOL, share your journey as a content creator on LinkedIn, being able to grow your page, the ups and downs of it, and how you're able to utilize AKOOL and how you are going to utilize AKOOL. Thank you. We appreciate it so much here at AKOOL. I'm sure the audience had fun listening to you. I saw a comment earlier. Let's see, someone mentioned, oh, it's like a podcast. It's very interesting. So thank you for sharing your input, Jim.
Yeah,
A
definitely.
lot.
I'm grateful to be here and hopefully someone learned a thing or two with this conversation. Thanks,
Yeah,
Eugene.
I know I definitely did. For some reason, even though I work here, I did not think about translating myself into Chinese and then watching it back. I don't know why it's never crossed my mind, but that's a good one. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Okay, then before we go, is there any last words you would like to share? Any advice or tips you would like to provide?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that before I interjected. So, no matter where you are in the world, if you're in the US, overseas, I want you to know if you're not even a content creator or whatever influencer, whatever path or journey that you're taking, do know that there will be ups and downs, and to always as best as you can take care of yourself, not just physically but mentally. That's the most important thing. Take time off, whatever it may be. Go out for walks, be surrounded with loved ones, hang out with your pets, your family and friends. Peace and love. Take care of you all.
Perfect. Perfect way to end the webinar. Thank you so much, Jim.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
I'll talk to you later.
See ya. Bye, Eugene.
Bye. Thank you.